At the beginning of the movie, we are not introduced to Superman. Instead, we are taken inside a huge mansion. An old, rich woman is lying on her bed. She is very weak. She knows she is going to die soon. A quiet man is standing next to her. He places some papers in front of her. He makes her sign them just before she takes her last breath. Her family is outside the door, shouting, trying to get in. But it is too late. All her money now belongs to this stranger. And then the man removes his disguise. And we see who he really is. It is the dangerous criminal Lex Luthor. He is finally out of jail. He is rich now. And he has a big evil plan. Now the movie takes us somewhere completely different. A small, quiet farm in Kansas. Martha Kent is doing her normal morning work. Suddenly, the ground starts shaking. The sky turns bright. Something is falling fast. A loud crash hits the field. Martha runs outside. She sees a strange crystal-shaped pod broken in the dirt. She walks closer. Her heart is beating fast. And what she sees inside makes her freeze. Her son is back. After 5 long years, Clark Kent has finally come home. Meanwhile, far away in the cold Arctic, Lex Luthor is on a boat. His girlfriend Kitty is with him. So are his men. They are not on a trip. They are looking for something special. And deep in the ice, they find it. The Fortress of Solitude. This is Superman's secret place. The place where he learned everything about who he really is. Lex walks inside. He looks around like a kid in a toy store. He touches things he should not touch. Then he finds a small crystal and uses it. Suddenly, a video starts playing. It is Jor-El, Superman's real father from Krypton. He is explaining everything. The powers, the crystals, the history, and Lex is listening to every single word. The most dangerous man on Earth just got the secret manual to a god. Back on the farm, Clark is trying to feel like himself again. He is sleeping in his old room. He is playing with his dog. He is walking through the cornfields. And while doing this, a memory comes back to him. A memory from his teenage years. Young Clark is running through the corn faster than any human ever could. He jumps into the sky, but suddenly he loses control. He crashes into the side of the barn. He starts falling toward the ground. He thinks he is going to die. But then something amazing happens. He stops in the air. He is floating. He is flying. And in that moment, young Clark learns something that changed his life forever. But back in the present, the moment Clark turns on the TV, his happy mood disappears. The news is full of bad things. Floods, wars, earthquakes, buildings falling down. All the things that happened while he was gone. And you can see the pain in his eyes. He feels guilty. He feels like he failed the world. Then his mother Martha walks in. She finally asks him the big question. Where were you all this time? Clark explains everything. Some scientists thought they had found pieces of his old planet Krypton. He had to go and check. He flew across space hoping to find something. Maybe even other survivors. But he found nothing. Just cold space and dead rocks. His home is truly gone. So he came back to the only home he has left. And now the heartbreak begins. Clark goes back to Metropolis. He puts on his glasses. He puts on his messy clothes. He becomes the shy and clumsy reporter Clark Kent again. At the Daily Planet office, his old friends are happy to see him. Jimmy Olsen smiles. Perry White is shouting orders like always. Everything feels good. Until Clark sees her. Lois Lane. The woman he loves. The woman he left behind. And here is the painful part. She is not waiting for him. She has a fiancé. She has a little son named Jason. And listen to this. She just won a big award for her new article. The title? Why the World Doesn't Need Superman. Imagine that. The love of your life publicly saying you don't matter anymore. Clark just stands there. He is hurting inside. But he says nothing. He wants to talk to her. He wants to explain. But she is already running off to cover a story about a new space shuttle launch. Now we go back to Lex Luthor. He is in the basement of his mansion. And what he is doing down there is crazy. He has built a small model of Metropolis City. Every street, every building, every river. It is perfect. He takes one of the crystals he stole. He breaks off a small piece. He drops it into the water of his model city. And then something scary happens. The model lights up. Then everything goes dark. At the same exact second, the real city of Metropolis loses all power too. A huge blackout hits the streets. But the worst part? The blackout reaches all the way up into the sky. Lois is on the airplane carrying the space shuttle. The lights flicker. The engines act strange. The control team on the ground tells the pilots to stop the launch. But the controls are not working. The shuttle's rockets fire on their own. Now the airplane is being dragged into the sky at insane speed. The pilots try to separate the plane. Nothing works. The people inside are screaming. Lois is being thrown around like a doll. Down in the city, Clark is in a bar with Jimmy. They see the breaking news on the TV. A plane is in trouble. Lois is on it. Clark does not say a word. He just stands up and walks out. He goes into a quiet alley. He pulls open his shirt, and there it is. The big red S. Superman is officially back. What happens next is one of the best rescue scenes you will ever see. Superman shoots into the sky. He catches the plane. He uses his heat vision to burn the metal locks. He pulls the shuttle off the plane with his bare hands. He throws it safely into space. But now the plane is falling fast. It is on fire. It is spinning. He grabs the wing to hold it steady. But the wing breaks off. Another piece of the plane flies straight at him. He does not move out of the way. He flies right through it and breaks it. Finally, he flies to the front of the plane. He uses his own body to slow it down. The plane is heading right toward a baseball stadium. Thousands of people are watching. They think they are about to see a disaster. But Superman pushes the plane down gently. He lands it right on the field. The crowd goes silent. Then they start cheering. He climbs out of the plane. He looks at Lois. They lock eyes for the first time in 5 years. And before she can say anything, he is gone. Lois faints from the shock. Now the danger is far from over. Lex Luthor saw the rescue on TV. And he is smiling. Why? Because his small experiment proved his big theory. The crystals don't just create things. They grow. They grow huge. And now Lex is dreaming about how big he can build something in the real world. Back at the Daily Planet, Lois is not interested in writing about Superman. She wants to know why the blackout happened. Her reporter senses are telling her something is wrong. Meanwhile, Clark goes to Lois's house to talk to her. But the visit only hurts him more. He meets her fiancé Richard. Richard is actually a good man. He meets her son Jason. Jason is small and looks weak. He keeps taking medicine. Clark stands there feeling like a stranger in a life that was almost his. That night, Superman flies above Lois's house. He uses his X-ray vision. He sees the family laughing at the dinner table together. And in that moment, he understands something painful. The woman he loves belongs to someone else now. He turns and flies away. He throws himself into hero work to forget the pain. He starts saving people again. He uses his super hearing to listen all over the city. And soon he hears something. A bank robbery. The robbers have a huge machine gun on the rooftop. They are shooting at police cars. They turn the gun on 2 security guards. They are about to kill them. But suddenly, the bullets stop in midair. They bounce off Superman's chest like nothing. He walks slowly toward the shooter. The man keeps firing until the bullets run out. In total panic, the robber pulls out a small pistol. He aims at Superman's eye. He pulls the trigger. The bullet hits his eye and just flattens. The look on the criminal's face is priceless. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor makes his next move. To distract the city, he sends Kitty driving a car at full speed through the streets. The brakes do not work. She is screaming. The car is crashing into everything. People are running. The car is heading right toward a couple sitting at an outdoor restaurant. Just before the crash, the car lifts into the air. Superman caught it. But while he was busy saving them, Lex was somewhere else. He was breaking into a mineral exhibit and stealing the one thing that can hurt Superman. Kryptonite. A massive piece of it. Now Lex has the crystals and the kryptonite. He has everything he needs. The next morning, Perry tells Clark to investigate the blackout. He tells Lois to write an article about Superman. She does not want to, but she agrees. That night, Lois steps out onto the rooftop of the Daily Planet to get some fresh air. And out of nowhere, Superman appears in front of her. They finally have a real talk. She asks him why he left without saying anything. He tells her about Krypton, about hoping to find his lost world. She tells him she had to move on. She built a new life. She thought the world could survive without him. Superman gently lifts her into the sky. They fly together over the bright city. He tells her something powerful. Every single second, somewhere in the world, somebody is crying for help. And he can hear all of it. The world says it does not need Superman. But he hears the truth. They land back on the rooftop. There is a moment, that moment, where they almost kiss. But Lois stops herself. She steps back. Her family is real now. And Superman quietly accepts it. The next day, he flies to the Fortress of Solitude. He needs answers. But when he gets there, he is shocked. The fortress has been broken into. The crystals are gone. Someone has stolen them. And he knows exactly who. Meanwhile, Lois is still digging into the blackout story. Her search leads her and Jason to a fancy yacht in the harbor. She sneaks onto the boat. She starts looking around. And she finds something strange. A whole closet full of wigs and disguises. And just like that, she figures it out. Lex Luthor is behind everything. But before she can run, the yacht starts moving away from the dock. They are now floating prisoners. Lex's men capture them. They drag her and Jason in front of Lex himself. And now Lex finally tells his big plan. And it is truly evil. He is going to use the crystals and the kryptonite to grow a brand new continent right out of the Atlantic Ocean. As his new land grows, the oceans will rise. Cities will drown. Most of America will be wiped off the map. Billions of people will die. And then Lex will own the only safe land on Earth. People will have to pay him whatever he wants. Lois is shocked. She tells him Superman will stop him. Lex just smiles. He pulls out the kryptonite. But the moment he holds it up, little Jason starts wheezing. He gets weak. Lex notices. He watches the boy carefully. And slowly, the truth hits him. This child is not normal. This child might be Superman's son. He locks Lois and Jason in a back room. Then he gets ready for his final move. Lex puts the kryptonite around one of the crystals. He loads it into a missile. He fires it deep into the ocean. The crystal hits the sea floor. It starts growing fast. A wave of energy spreads through the water. And once again, the city goes dark. Lois sees her chance. She runs to a fax machine. She sends her location to the Daily Planet. But one of Lex's men catches her. He is huge. He is mean. He grabs something heavy. He is about to crush her. But then something crazy happens. Little Jason is watching his mother in danger. Out of nowhere, he pushes a giant piano across the room with one hand. The piano flies through the air. It crushes the man against the wall. Everyone is shocked. Even Lex, watching from outside, finally has his answer. The boy is Superman's son. Back in the city, Clark and Richard are losing their minds trying to find Lois. Then her message comes through on the fax. Richard runs to grab his small plane. Clark runs into an empty elevator. The doors close. He rips off his shirt, and he shoots out of the building like a rocket. But while flying, he sees something terrible. The new continent is already rising from the ocean. Massive earthquakes are tearing apart Metropolis. Buildings are starting to fall. And Superman has to make the hardest choice. Save the woman he loves. Or save millions of innocent people. He chooses the city. What happens next is nonstop hero work. He catches a worker falling from a high crane. He stops a giant metal sign from crushing cars full of people. A man drops a cigar into a sewer drain. At the same time, a gas pipe breaks underground. A huge explosion shoots out of the street. Superman uses his heat vision to destroy the dangerous flying pieces. He flies into a burning tunnel. The fire is heading toward a chemical factory. He uses his super breath to blow the fire out. And then comes the most famous moment in the whole movie. The giant globe on top of the Daily Planet building breaks loose. It starts falling fast. It is heading right toward Perry White and a crowd of people. Superman catches it just in time, inches from their heads. Meanwhile on the yacht, Lex realizes Jason is dangerous. He decides to leave. He, Kitty, and his men jump into a helicopter. They fly away. They leave Lois and Jason to die. The crystals keep growing under the ocean. They start cracking the yacht in half. Just then, Richard arrives with his plane. He breaks them out. But suddenly, a massive crystal shoots up from the water. It cuts the yacht in two. Water rushes in fast. A door slams on Lois's head. She falls down unconscious. Richard tries to drag her and Jason out. But they are trapped. The boat is sinking deeper. Until Superman appears under them. He lifts the entire sinking yacht out of the water. He carries everyone safely to the plane. He sees that Lois is okay. He nods to Richard. And then he turns toward the new continent. It is time to end this. But here is where the movie breaks your heart. Superman lands on the Crystal Continent. He walks up to Lex. He tells him to give the crystals back. Lex just smiles. Then he punches Superman so hard that he flies back. And Superman is shocked. Because nothing should be able to hurt him like that. And then he understands the truth. The whole continent is made with kryptonite. He is losing his powers with every second. Lex's men jump on him. They beat him. They kick him. They drag him through the mud. They try to drown him in the water. The strongest man on the planet is being beaten like a regular human. Even Kitty looks away. It is too much. And then comes the worst moment. Lex pulls out a long, sharp piece of kryptonite. He stabs Superman in the back. He breaks off a piece so it stays inside him. Superman screams. He stumbles. He falls off a cliff into the dark ocean below. He tries to reach behind himself to pull the kryptonite out. But he cannot. Bleeding, weak, and almost dead, he starts to sink. Up in the plane, Lois refuses to leave him. She tells Richard to turn around. They fly low over the water. They search and search. Then little Jason spots a hand floating in the waves. They pull Superman's body into the plane. Lois sees the kryptonite still in his back. With shaking hands, she pulls it out. He gasps. He comes back to life. He thanks them. Then he forces himself out of the plane. He shoots straight up into the sky. He flies all the way to the sun. He floats there. He soaks in the pure sunlight. His body fills with power again. Then he comes screaming back down. He dives deep into the ocean. He starts breaking the bottom of the new continent. Lex feels the ground shaking. He panics. He grabs the rest of the crystals. He runs to his helicopter with Kitty. But a falling crystal pillar crushes the rest of his men. They take off into the sky with the crystals. But then Kitty does something nobody saw coming. She throws the crystals out the helicopter door. Without them, Lex can never build this nightmare again. He completely loses his mind. And now we get the big moment. Superman rises out of the ocean. His whole body is shaking. He starts lifting the entire kryptonite continent into the sky. Pieces of green poison are stabbing into his chest and hands. He is getting weaker every second. But he does not stop. He pushes the giant land higher and higher. All the way out of the atmosphere. All the way into space. And with one final push, he throws it into the dark void. The Earth is saved. But Superman has nothing left. His eyes close. His body goes limp. And he begins to fall. People in Metropolis watch in shock as their hero crashes from the sky. He hits the ground hard. He leaves a huge crater. Doctors rush him to the hospital. They try to save him. They try to use needles. The needles bend on his skin. They try a heart machine at full power. The machine sparks and dies. They cannot even cut him to remove the kryptonite still inside his body. And then his heart stops. The news spreads fast. Lois rushes to the hospital with Richard and Jason. Richard waits in the hallway. Lois and Jason quietly walk into the room. Superman is lying there, pale, still, almost dead. And finally, after years of silence, Lois leans down and tells him the truth. She tells him that Jason is his son. She kisses him on the forehead. Jason walks up too. He looks at the man on the bed. He has no idea he is saying goodbye to his real father. Far away, Lex and Kitty's helicopter runs out of fuel. They crash on a tiny empty island. The big mastermind is now stuck in the dirt with no power and no plan. After all his evil schemes, he ends up a stranded loser. Back at the hospital, a nurse walks into Superman's room. She freezes. The bed is empty. He is gone. We cut to Lois's house. She is typing at her desk. She is writing a brand new article. The title? Why the World Needs Superman. She has no idea Superman is already inside her home. He floats quietly into Jason's room. He looks at the sleeping boy. He softly speaks the same words his own father once told him. Words about a son becoming a father. Words about love and hope. Then he gently kisses his son's forehead. He meets Lois on the balcony as she steps out for fresh air. She is shocked to see him alive. Her eyes fill with tears. She asks him quietly, "Will I see you again?" He gives her a small, peaceful smile. He tells her he is always around. Then he flies up into the night sky, stronger than before, ready to be the silent hero the world needs. So yeah, that is the heartbreaking and powerful story of Superman Returns. A movie about flying and fighting, but really, it is about coming home. It is about a hero realizing that the people he loves have built a life without him. It is about a father watching his son from afar. It is about choosing to save a world that was not even sure it wanted you back. And honestly, that is what makes this movie stay with you long after it ends. Now real quick, I worked really hard on this recap for you. So do me one tiny favor. If you made it this far and enjoyed the story, you literally have no excuse not to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Seriously, if you don't, you are basically letting Lex Luthor win. And we cannot let that happen. Also, drop a comment below and tell me this. Would you have forgiven Lois for moving on? Or do you think Superman should have walked away forever? I see every single comment. So don't be shy. Hit subscribe. Turn on notifications. And I will see you in the next movie breakdown.